I'm making $5,000 every single day on average these days. And I wanted to put together a video to show you how I'm doing it and how you can make 300, 500, even $1,000 per day on average, starting very quickly, starting this year, no matter where you are right now. And I mean that making that on your own terms, at home or traveling or wherever you want to be, and working for yourself. This is possible. I know this because a few years ago I was homeless. A few years ago I was sleeping on the floor of an airport trying to make things work out. And I've had an amazing ride the past few years. I went from being homeless for and having housing insecurity and food insecurity for most of my life to having a freedom that I want more people to have. So I want to show you that it's possible for you and that now is the time to do this. If you clicked on this video, there was a reason you did. There was something going on where you said, I want more for myself. I want better for myself. No matter where you are, you might be making money. You might be making good money, but are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Um, are you content? That is where I am. I'm 45, so that's kind of where we start to from 40 on, I think we start to look for the meaning in life and for fulfillment. That's where I am. So if you're feeling me, let me know in the comments right now if you are ready to know exactly how I make money and if you want to know how you can make money. Now, I said I'm making about 5,000 on average per day. That's where I am right now. Started the year just a few months ago at about 3,000 on average, which was already mind-blowing. Now, 300 uh, average per day is about $100,000 per year, just to give you context. 500 is about 180,000 per year, and $1,000 per day, if you were to get to that level, is about 365, or just $365,000 per year. And these numbers, I want you to compare these numbers to what you're making now. And I want you to, I could hear some people laughing. I've done this so many times. Speaking of, that's one of the things that I'm going to talk to you about. But I want you to compare that number, the 100,000 to 365,000 to how much you make right now and how you make it. And see and imagine yourself. I want you to even close your eyes if you can and imagine yourself exactly where you want to be. Imagine yourself. For me, it's like at a concert or my favorite sports team, or it's on a vacation with my family, being able to take them all over the world, or it's being in front of an audience who really gets something from that talk and benefits from it, but I was able to get myself in that room. I want you to imagine that before I tell you the tactical. And I'm going to show you some evidence and I'm going to show you some behind the scenes stuff too that I think will be helpful. Um, I want you to imagine you are where you want to be and you're making the amount of money you want to make. There's no sacrifice of either. What does that look like to you? And can you describe it in the comments? Can you describe, well, for me, that would be being at home with my family and making my salary. Or for me, that would be being able to solo travel for 3 months at a time if I want to. I can take my own sabbatical if I want to and still be able to pay my mother's mortgage. If whatever that is for you, it may be something smaller than that, it may be something more grandiose, but I want you to know it, even if you don't comment with it. I want you to know what that is. Also, request that you subscribe below. There's a button that says subscribe. When you click that button, if you're not already subscribed, if you're already subscribed, don't do anything. But if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click the button because it'll help you get these videos from me. And I'm going all in 2026. I'm telling you, there's so much I want to teach you. So one of the things I said that I do, how I make money, is I just produce a lot of content. Now, I want you to stay with me here. A couple of years ago, I started taking YouTube very seriously. Before that, I thought I was doing the right things. I was spending a lot of money on like fancy equipment and fancy recordings and doing like a studio type thing. And I thought that that's what you needed to do well on YouTube. I just didn't know any better. And the problem was I would do that. I would spend thousands of dollars for these different setups. And then when it came to publishing, I didn't know the first thing about packaging. So I didn't know that your thumbnail, that picture that shows up that made you click this video, or the title, I didn't know that those needed to be optimized and that there was a certain formula and a certain way that that would help people find you. I didn't know all of the algorithm, everything that YouTube does behind the scenes to get a video in front of the right person. So I was spending all that money and that time and that energy, and it was really not producing what I wanted it to. It was kind of like empty calories. I even spent money on advertising, and that didn't do anything because it was going to the wrong people. And then summer of 2024, I had a breakthrough, and that breakthrough was I don't want to have to get ready and go somewhere else when I have an idea or something to give to you, the viewer, when I have that moment and I want to share it. I don't want to have to go and set something up and do all of that. So I'm going to study and I'm going to understand the algorithm better. And then I'm just going to press record. I'm going to open up my laptop, press record on a Zoom call or whatever you may have. And I'm just going to talk. And once I start doing that, things exploded on my YouTube channel. I've been able to gain more than 200,000 subscribers in the past 2 years, more like 220,000 that I've gained. And every single day, thousands and thousands of people watch my videos, new and old. But more so, what's really interesting is that thousands of people find me for the first time every day. And what I want you to get from this is I don't want you to think, oh, this is a fluke. This is just something that Arlan gets because she makes 5,000 a day. No, no, no. I make 5,000 a day because I did this. You see what I'm saying? I put content out almost every single day. Well, I put content out every day, that's for sure. But I put long form content out almost every single day. You do not need to do that. And in fact, for you, if you're just starting out or trying to revamp your channel, once or twice a week, 20 or 30 minutes, perfect. Even 15 minutes, perfect. But then you do that on a consistent basis. You get a rhythm and a pattern and a schedule. And what you're doing is you're trying, what people say to me all the time is you're everywhere. You're everywhere. And when I'm walking around somewhere, it happens so often, people will come up to me and they'll say, I know you from something. I don't know what. So a lot of people know me and they know why, but a lot of people will say, I don't know why I know you. And then something will click and they'll say, are you on YouTube? And I'll say, yes. Or Instagram? I think I follow you on Instagram. And it's because I'm not only putting content out for that day, I'm putting content out so that it becomes ubiquitous. It becomes something where you're seeing me here and there and over there. And what's really awesome about this is that it's not because I have some big system or a big huge team or anything like that. I just press record and I publish. You could do that starting today. You could say, look, twice a week, I'm going to publish a video about my topic, about my niche. Just start having conversations with an audience. That audience may start at a zero, and then it may be two people, and then it may be four. And over time, it will grow. And it only needs to be about 100 people, honestly, over time for you to make really good money from that. Because think about the depth of that. If 100 people were in a room with you right now and hearing what you had to say, how much could you accomplish? You could get your message out, you could get heard, you might even be able to sell something to the people who need what you have to offer. So that's what I do. I think about content in a very serious way. I take it very seriously, even though I don't take myself so seriously. I try to take life a little light in a light way. But content is like this asset that just builds and builds. I think of it as a portfolio. So another thing you may or may not know about me is that I've invested in more than 200 companies. Again, I was homeless about 10 years ago. I built something big for myself called Backstage Capital, and now I've invested in more than 200 companies. And when you have an investment firm, you have a portfolio. If you may have invested in stocks or anything like that, you may know that term. I think of my videos, especially my long form videos on YouTube, meaning longer than 5, 10 minutes. I think of them as assets in a portfolio. an incredible investment of my time, mostly. A little bit of money because, you may need a laptop or you can do this on your phone, but the phone you may need, Wi-Fi. But mostly it's time and it's like consistency. It's getting up and saying, I'm going to do it anyway, right? Even if there's so much else going on in the world. So I have this portfolio of videos that when I look at my videos, I can see that people have been watching. Now, another thing that I do to make money is I was going to show you the behind the scenes of the videos, but I don't know if I can pull it up just yet. I'm going to see in a second. But another thing I do is I build community. And I've been doing that for 2 decades, honestly, because even when I was broke, poor, homeless, I always had people that I would talk to because this thing called the internet, because it brings us together. And with community, that they go with you. So inside of my Your First 5K membership, for instance, I have 30,000 people in there. It grows by 50, 100, 200 people per day, depending on the day. That's real people, okay? Because we get rid of the bots. I'm talking about real people every single day joining. And when they get in there, they get all of this. It's a free membership. So I have everything linked below, but they get incredible content to help them make money, and people do all the time. I'll even show you that. I have that keyed up here. So I'll show you. We just did this hackathon. This is my Your First 5K club that's linked in the description below and the pinned comment. And you see here we have 29.8 thousand members. That'll be 30,000 by the next 48 hours. And we just had a hackathon, a really cool AI fun 2-day event where I taught people how to make $300 landing pages by um, typing in a few words into an AI platform. So, I'm seeing there's so many people who are doing AI right now, and you're probably hearing about it. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let it pass you by. I think it's hitting a crescendo right now, like crescendo right now. So many people are going to be talking about it. You may even get annoyed by it, but look at this. Um, just everybody's so stoked about it. The hackathon was amazing. And then we had day two, and just look how everybody. Michelle is 72. Michelle McCain is 72. She's a fantastic human being. She said, tonight I changed my business. And she speaks about how after the day two of the hackathon, every piece of the puzzle fell into place. 72. Okay. So it's not too late to start. It's not too late. But building this community, I know these people. It's so much fun. It's so awesome, and people are making money in there. People are finding friends. Christine, look, she had hackathon. My first page built, and I sent it to my contact. I attended both days, built my one page during day one, then spent some time adjusting. Day two, I built another one page for a warm contact. And somebody earlier talked about how they got a sale at the post office. I taught them how to do this, and they were at the post office, and they met somebody, started talking to them, and next thing you know, they made $300 because they built a site for them. And this is not difficult to do. The reason that people don't do it, the reason not everybody's doing it, is because it takes time and it takes effort. You have the ability to use both, to learn a skill one time and then make money from it over and over again. This is what I do. This is how I make money. I'll give you an example. I have this site called Authority X Pro. This is like, if you've used ChatGPT, it has the same kind of feel to it, meaning that it is something where you type into, or even record with your voice. You type into it and you ask it questions and you ask it to do things, and it will give you these incredible answers. Now, what sets it apart from ChatGPT, though, is that it is trained on everything that I know about sales, making money, building offers, etc. And then it also gets to learn you over time. So it is like having me as your consultant and your coach 24/7, 365 days. Now, you see here, even if you don't know what to ask it, you can say, oh, I need a better offer, or I need customers, I need visibility, I need to sell my first digital product. You just press the button, and it tells you what to do all year long. It's incredible. So what I have heard twice in the past 30 days, twice. I've heard two different people tell me that they paid $30,000 to a coach and that they didn't make any money from it. And what I want to say to them and what I want to say to you is if you've spent money, good money, on coaches and programs that just haven't paid off for you, you spent 5,000, 10,000, maybe even 30,000. I don't want you to feel like that was a mistake or that you did something wrong. I want you to understand that even that is a powerful lesson that may have saved you 300,000, right? You first of all, you learned something. I know you learned something in that time period. Maybe you met someone that you would not have met were it not for that program. And even that over time is has such value. And then you also learned about yourself. You learned, okay, what do I need to look at in the future to understand if something is right for me? So you're building instinct with it. So I just want you to know that I don't want you to beat yourself up because I see a lot of people doing that. What I have with Authority X Pro, and this is why it works. This is why I make money from. I'm going to show you behind the scenes in just a second. I'm going to show you the dashboard that I get to see as an admin. The reason I make so much money from Authority X Pro, and it's just 2 months old in public, is that it works so well. It works immediately, and there's a 24-hour free trial. So people try it, they understand how valuable it is, and then they upgrade. But the reason is because it just works so well. So what you want to do is you want to build something and have something that has a quick win for your customer. Something that can be accomplished in 1, 2, or 7 days. Something that they get like, ooh. And it doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be like, okay, I gotta win from that. And another thing that makes it so powerful is that for $1,000, it's 997 for the year currently. It could be more by the time you see this, if you see this weeks or months from now. But right now it's $997 per year just for the year. And there's no contracts to keep you locked in if you don't want to continue after the first year. For that, you get a full year of AXP, authorityxpro.com, and you get my 360 pass, which has all kinds of stuff in it. So what I did is I made kind of like a irresistible offer. Okay, so 360 pass is here where you get all kinds of stuff. Like you get coaching calls from me every week. That's crazy. That alone is worth it. You get um 6 other calls. You get 6 other calls on Sundays, mindset, Mondays, sales with Colin Yearwood, who's done millions of dollars in sales. You get YouTube with Ty. You get school, the community with Allison, and AI with Nicole McCain, and advanced growth with Camille. And you get me on Tuesdays. That's just the beginning. That's 360 Pass on its own. You get that included for the $1,000. So just think about how I built that over time. And I said, okay, what can I do that is leveraged? With AI being what it is, I can build an AI product and I can learn more about it every single day and I can build it and make it better and better. And that's what I do. Every day, I optimize Authority X Pro. So I'll even show you what I did. Look, I'm not even kidding. I made, in 13 hours ago, I announced 4 updates to the client workspace version. So the client workspace version is for people who have clients and they want to have AXP for them to work with them behind the scenes like a CRM. And that costs $2,000 per year. Today could go up and it's a $5,000 retail, but it's 2,000 right now. And for this, you get like 6 weeks of training. And yesterday I said, look, I made 4 updates. Look at this. Wow, wow, wow. This is going to be so helpful. This is amazing, right? So I'm not showing you what those updates are because it's kind of private, but I'm saying that I continuously upgrade. Now, let me show you a little behind the scenes. Let's see, it was last updated 21 minutes ago. Okay. So what this is, first of all, I put my bug report. This is my admin dashboard for me. This is behind the scenes. So first of all, I put bug reports. I just added about a week ago the ability to report a bug directly from the site. So people were sending me emails and saying, "Oh, this didn't work or this didn't work." I want to be able to know at any given time if there's something wrong with the app because you're paying money for it and I want you to have. You're not paying 30,000, you're paying 1,000 and you're getting so much included, including 360 pass and a full year of AXP. But of course, I'm going to treat you like you spent 30,000. So I have the bug reports as the first thing up. And I made the decision. I also get an email when there's a bug report. So if you're in AXP already, you can do a pull down menu and you can do a bug report. Then this certified tally, don't look at this as the number because what this is actually showing me is, you remember I said I have like a certified version where you learn from me for 6 weeks. It costs $2,000 and you get client dashboards. So this tells me when you type into the client dashboard, you say how much money that client is paying you. So this tells me how many client dashboards are being used. So we have 41 strategists who are getting certified right now. Those 41 together have 125 clients right now, and those clients are paying them a total of 37,000. Now, some people are not being paid by the client, and some people are using this to just practice. But this over time will let me know what my impact is on the world, basically. So over, give this a year, give this 6 months, and this number could be 500,000 over 500 clients, something like that. So then total trial purchases in the last certain number of days. And this says 3 in the last 24 hours. So this means that a bunch of people became trial users because you get a 24-hour trial. And then 3 of them purchased, they upgraded or, converted in the last 24 hours. So I like to have this number right for me as soon as I look at this. Then this talks about total paid users and how many trial users there have been. And then I have this projected lifetime value based on the number of trial users, not based on all of users. This is the amount that I believe I'll make. And this is actually lower than the probability, but just based on conversion rates. Okay. If this many people do the trial, then over time, people usually upgrade. This is just a lot of behind the scenes in case you want to know. People usually upgrade within, like, after the first 24 hours, like either that moment or up until, like, I've seen him take like 16 days. And all of that is within 30 days, which is really, really solid. If you can do a conversion event within 30 days of that person landing and becoming a trial member, that means that if I ever wanted to do paid ads, which I don't do for this, but if I ever did, that would be really, really great for me to know because then I could say how much my budget is that month based on what I know the conversion rates are. And then in the last, this resets at 5 p.m. Pacific. So that's how it does it. So I made 854. And then the last 7 days, I made 16,000 from this. And the last 30 days, I made 35. Now, what's really interesting is I had another site when I first did the certification that was not counted here. And that made about $45,000 in a week. And that was for the first 30 or so certified members because it was a different process. So total this year is more like 100,000 since early April. So 2 months. So about 100,000. No, it's more like 120, 115,000. And then in the last 7 days, that number has been growing. So what you do is you take that 16,000, you multiply it by 52. We're talking more like 800,000 on site. Because the reason that's happening, the reason there's 2 times, like it's 50% of the revenue has come from the last 30 days has come in from the last 7 is because it's growing. Is because all of the compounded interest of all the videos, the content that I mentioned, the community that I talked about, and then time. Time compounds. So people, you don't know at the very beginning what a trial might do. Sometimes people will stop their trials too early because they think, oh, it's not working. Nobody signed up in the first 24 hours. No, 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 no. What did I just say? People could take up to 16 days. And maybe it'll be even longer with more time that I see. So what that means is like it's all starting to click. So now this is at an 800,000 or so run rate, maybe even 85,000. I'm sorry, 800,000, 850,000 annual. And then on top of that, it doesn't even take into consideration the off-site stuff that I'm doing with it. So this is $1 million product in 2 months built. Now, I couldn't have necessarily done this right out the gate because the whole premise of it is you're getting me 24/7. If you don't know who I am and you don't trust who I am, then you don't really care that you get me 24/7. So what do you do when you don't have that experience? You don't have those receipts yet. You start to build them today. You do what I did 2 years ago and you say, look, I'm going to start taking this more seriously. I'm going to start to build today. Now, here's another huge metric that I look at every single day, which is the messages on the platform itself. Look at this. So it's split between, it's a little hard to read potentially for you. I might even take it to light here, right? So what this says is, let's look at June 3rd. It says that my trial users sent 374 messages. So remember, that would have been 20 to 30 people uh, in a trial in that moment, okay? In that 24 hours. They sent 374 messages collectively on one day. And then the other user, the paid users, sent 2,212 messages. Something was happening June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd that was just like the highest ever. That's more people, that's more users, and it's probably from some sort of content, maybe even the hackathon of me saying, like, almost anything, any question you have can be answered. So then I have my recent transactions I can look at. And then I can see how many trials have started. So yesterday, 22 trials started. The past 7 days, 167 trials have started. And then 962 trials. That's really interesting. You notice there are fewer trials the last 7 days, but more money than ever. I'm going to look at that later and see what that means. And then it's also, I get to see how many playbooks are generated. And when I say playbooks, what I mean is I can actually generate a playbook as a user. I can work with the chat. I can talk to it about specific things. And then let's say once a week or once every 3 days or once a month, I want a full strategy document. So I can do a 72-hour plan. What do I do in the next 3 days? What do I do? How do I make money? How do I get out of this situation? How do I build this content or build this community? Like, how do I post on YouTube, or what do I say? What do I post in my school, etc.? I can do that 72-hour, or I can do a long term, which is more like 30 to 90 days. And what is happening here is that I get to see on the admin side that in the last 30 days alone, 619 playbooks were generated, which means, and believe me, I'm getting charged when this happens. So this is costing me money, but I'm so giddy about it because, and when I say I mean Arlan, I am getting charged because I pay for the back end, right? You're paying for the front end, I'm paying for the back end. But I'm giddy about it because that means like, whoa, how many hundreds of people were, and you can do a playbook even on your trial, on your free trial. So how many hundreds of people were able, maybe it's an average of, 1.3 per person. Maybe it's 400 people or so. In 30 days, we're able to get full clarity. So it's so exciting. And then I have my last purchaser journey, which is so cool. I'm not going to show you that because it's private information. But what it does is it tells me the last person who purchased, where did they start? How long did it take them to be in the trial? And then so on. Then I have a couple other metrics here. There's an affiliate program. So as soon as you start your trial or you're paid, you get an affiliate link. So you can make, I think I do 50% or 40, I think I do 40%. 40% you can make telling other people about this, even if you're in trial. So let's say you do the trial, you love the trial, you get two or three people to purchase, they paid for your year. Pretty interesting if you're at all good at sales or have anybody that you know who should use this. Then this one I love. I have this YouTube tracked links. So I get to know what, like, I'm going to put a link in this description for Authority X Pro, and it's going to be a custom link that I build here. And it will tell me how many people clicked the link, how many people started trials from this video, and then how many people paid and upgraded eventually. And then it'll help me with the conversion rate and the total revenue. So that's really, really cool. I made $9,000 in revenue alone in the last 30 days just from YouTube video direct links. And sometimes a YouTube video will send people elsewhere and then they'll come back and buy. So it's not perfect, but it does give me something and it tells me, okay, if this type of video had this many clicks or this many trials, really, I don't really care so much about the clicks. I care more about the trials that have been started because I know once somebody's in a trial, they'll love it. But I look at the ones, okay, this type of video made this many people start a trial. I need to do more of these videos. I don't care how many views I get on the video. If I get 500 views when I'm normally getting 5,000, I don't care if it's the kind of video that sends me trial users. You see what I'm saying? So that data, the more data you can have, the better. Now, by the way, if you're wondering, like, how did you do this? How did you build this back end? Is this something you're paying for? I use Lovable. And that's what my hackathon was about. So anything you can imagine, you can tell Lovable and see if it can make it for you. So I wanted all these things to be measured. So over time, I'll say, okay, now measure this. Now make this for me. Make this possible. And it'll do what it can. I even have ecosystem reports I can run. They run automatically every day that tells me, like, overall, people are having trouble with this or people are struggling with their offer. So you should make content about people's offers. It's pretty incredible what this is doing. This, I could probably sell this back end uh, uh, as a whole different product. Let me know, by the way, in the comments or email me at arlanhamilton@gmail.com, ARLAN Hamilton@gmail.com. If you want me to build this for you, I'll charge you a little bit for it. If you want me to build the back end for any kind of thing that you do. Now, if you want like an Authority X Pro, I do have that product, and that actually costs $8,000 to get started and $1,000 per month for everything. And then you have to pay for the cloud and AI infrastructure. So if you're interested in that, you can also email me. But most people, what I would say is get Authority X Pro itself. It's $1,000 for the full year, less than $3 a day. You also get 360 Pass, where it gets you all kinds of training with me, coaching, live coaching, but it also gives you these different OSs, operating systems, right? It gives you these different operating systems. Let's see where we can do that. Message. Okay. So it gives you Stan OS, First Dollar OS, Sales Flywheel OS, Lovable OS, Prompt Shop in a Box. It's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous, the value of this thing. So much. Yeah, people are just loving it. Okay, so what did we learn? What are we gonna do? We're gonna first of all, we're gonna know that we can do this. We're gonna understand the numbers and understand what we want. Don't just do this frivolously. Say, I want to make this amount of money within this amount of time to do that. Okay. Then we're going to really lean into content. And if you say, oh, I don't want to put myself out there, I don't want my face shown, I think you need to break through that if you truly want to do this. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the less freaked out you'll be. And you can start with text. Post on LinkedIn, typing, there's even posts on YouTube that are like blog posts. You don't have to do video out the gate, but video is the more leveraged, faster way for you to start making money. And I teach you all about that inside of 360 Pass. Inside of your first 5K that's free, there's a YouTube accelerator, teaches you all kinds of stuff. And then You have an offer for people that people really can use that gives them a quick win out the gate. And then you do pricing that is competitive, that makes it a no-brainer. And you build community around this at all stages. While you're building, when you're successful, I started talking to people when I was broke and built and built and built. When I was the underdog, still am, by the way, but I feel like I am. When I was the underdog, and the people wanted to be part of the journey. So you're going to bring people along your journey as you're doing this. Like one thing you could do just to get started is like make some short videos and say, "Hey, I'm just getting started. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to post it. I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do. I'm posting." And then you do it. And you do that every day, short video, or every couple of days. Or you could put out a long form video. Take the URL, go to opusclip.com, OPUS clip, CLIP.com, or maybe Opus Clip, search for it in Google. I don't know the exact address. Take the URL of your long form, say a 15-minute video, paste it in there. You pay for, a little bit per month, and it'll give you short videos. So you could do one video and make a ton of content that you post on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and even TikTok. It's just cool. And LinkedIn video verticals, they have that too. So there's just so much to do, but I need you to know that you have to start today. You absolutely have to start now if you want this to work. You can't keep putting it off. You can't keep trying to wait for the perfect moment or wait till you have more time or wait till you have a perfect offer or a perfect website. Just start now. Just start now. And if you don't know exactly what to do, if you get authorityxpro.com, the 24-hour trial, it will tell you what to do next. Do it, run a 72-hour playbook after you talk to it for a little bit. It'll tell you. If you already did the trial, go ahead and upgrade. Upgrade to the year. It will tell you as if you're working with me 24/7. Every single day you can talk to it. And it will, just like it has worked for so many other people. I didn't even show you I should have shown you like all the, let's see if I can show you that real quick. Let's see. I have Authority X Pro here. So look, so Claudia made 3,100 in 2 weeks. Jamie a day ago said, AXP, you have a multi-million-dollar blueprint. I believe you. Show me what you see. Nikki says 9 days ago, Authority X Pro is the bomb. After struggling to get clear on my main offers, this gold mine helped me in a matter of minutes and is absolutely spot on. I am obsessed. And then Felita says, the school platform plus AXP. I must give such respect to Arlan because you are the real deal. Using your prompts to create, modify, revise, and dance with is so exciting. Just sharing my flowers. Boom. AXP is incredible. 15 days ago, Liz says. Okay, guys, this AXP thing is just off the freaking charts. Just keeps going. In love with AXP, Pollyanna. In love. She's a singer. Okay. Sam, are you wondering about the certification? He did a whole video about the certification because he loves it so much. AXP has given me clarity. I got my first AXP win and a massive shift in how I do business. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. You just go look for it. And if you're saying, if this is right for me, will this work for me? I don't have any offers. I don't have any audience. Yes, it helps you from scratch if you don't have any of that. That's the whole point. It can help you from zero build because it'll tell you exactly what to do, just like I would. You might say, well, I already have an offer, but I don't, I can't get it in front of the right people. I don't have a large audience. I have the offer. I know the offer is great, but I don't have a large audience. Authority X Pro will help you build out your YouTube, your school, your social presence, your LinkedIn, any of it. It is trained on thousands and thousands of data points that I have fed it. And I spent 6 months or 6 to 8 months feeding it and then building it for 2 months. It's incredible. And it only gets better every single day. So whatever you're thinking to yourself, oh, I can't do this because, take that out of your mind. You can do this. It can help you. And you can do a bug report if you have questions. And that comes right to me and I'll help you. It's just amazing. Okay. Hope this helped you. Let's go out to make some money. Let's do it. I know you can do it.